In this video, I'm going to explain the sign-in process and its validation. There are two figures, the email and the password field, a remember me, forgotten password, and the sign-in button. So if we go to the code, this is inside this index.php, and inside this div we have the sign-in fields. So inside here I have in this input field, this is the email field. So in here I have given an ID called email2, and this is the password field. Inside this password field also I have given a password to ID called password2. So this is the sign in button, and this sign in button has an on click event called sign in. When the user click on this sign in button, this sign in function will be invoked. So inside this script.js, this sign in button is here inside this script.js. Sign in function invokes, and it will first, what it does is it will get all those ID elements and assign it to these variables. And after that I'm going to use the new form data, so I can send values as key value pairs. So using f.append, I'm going to first give the key and I'm going to give the value. So after that, to send this data to the backend as asynchronous, I'm going to use XML HTTP request class, and I'm going to instantiate it and assign it to a variable r. And r.open method, I'm going to first going to give the method. I'm going to send it as a post method, and in here I'm going to give where the location I'm going to send. I want to send this HTTP request to sign in process.php file, and I'm going to say I want to send it as asynchronous. So I'm going r.send will send our data, this form, to the backend. So if we go to the backend process, first I have brought the connection.php file into this sign in process.php, and then I started a session. And in here, these three lines, what it does is the values that I get from the HTTP request, I assign those values to these variables, and check using these if-else statements. I'm going to check whether these values are valid. So if these are valid, I will go to this last else statement. So inside this last else statement, I'm going to call the database. I'm going to use the database class and going to call this search method. Inside this search method, it accepts a parameter. So I'm going to send this SQL query as the parameter, and it will execute the SQL query and return me a result set. And the result set will be assigned to this rs variable, and using this number of rows, I will get the rows of this result set and assign it to this n, and check using this if statement. I'm going to check n equals 1. If it is not equals 1, I will send this message to the front end. So if it is equal 1, that means the user exists in the database, and that means if the user exists in the database, I will send this success message to the front end. And using this fetch as a method, I'm going to get that value, the result set value or the user, and assign it to this d variable, the user. I'm going to get the user data using this fetch assoc and assign it to this d variable, and I'm going to create a new session using $_ session. I'm going to name it called u. So this session will be u session will have this user object, and this successful message, how we are going to catch this success message in the front end, we are going to do that using this r.onReady state change. So this r. already state change help us to keep track our HTTP request, and it takes an anonymous function. So inside this anonymous function I have written a if statement r.readystate equals 4 and r.status equals 200. So if these conditions are true, that means our response is successful. The HTTP request is successful. Whatever the data we are getting, the response text we are getting from the backend, assign it to this t variable, and if that t variable equals success, that means this message, if we get this message, if this t is equal to this success, that means user successfully logged in, and using windows.location we will navigate to this home page, and if not, we will get an alert. An alert. So now I will show you the process. So I'm going to first give an invalid email and a password. See, I got that backend message from the back. I got the message from the backend, and I show it using the alert. I show it in the front end. So now I'm going to give a valid email and the valid password. I successfully logged in, and I was navigated to the home page. This is all for this video. Thank you for watching.